Hello, cads and cadlings. It's another disappointing day because we don't have cards to crack. So we have backup things to talk about. Actually, it's kind of important. It's kind of like topics and
super important.
Kind of another market talk kind of thing.
It's a good check-in.
More speculative, not really. I guess just to cover our asses, it's speculative.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about. Well, why don't you tell us?
Yeah. So today we are going to try to figure out, based on history of the De Beers diamond industry and the diamond company, if the De Beers company and their strategy is in any way what PSA is doing right now.
I really don't like what PSA is doing right now.
I don't.
I know. Let's get there.
I think maybe 1% of the internet probably even knows what that is. So do you care to explain that?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Perfect. This is gonna be an educational day, and I'm gonna just honestly list out things that they did strategy-wise, and then I want you guys to think of something that PSA is doing that could fall into that category. And by the end of all the fun facts and the bullet points, you tell me if you think they're doing the same thing.
So can I just springboard you real quick then? Let me ask you a question.
Send me off into the space.
Okay, so why are diamonds so expensive if there's so many of them?
High pop. Because they're marketed really well.
Oh. Thumbnail pose.
Springboard. All right, so let's go into it because we have a tight time frame, and I got a shit.
Someone's pinching a loaf.
Yeah.
Someone's got a Dunsparce up in their.
Let's just say I had dinner with my fams. We had ice cream after, and Sarah decided to split a Burger King meal with me. So
there's an Onyx in there.
I'm cooking right now. Cooking, boys, cooking. So no, quick backstory, then we're going to the strategy. The Bears, whatever the fuck. The Bears. They were, even to this day, one of the most successful diamond companies in the entire world. They, at one point, controlled, at peak, they controlled 80, if not 90% of all the diamonds in the world.
Isn't that crazy?
What a monopoly. Oh,
monopoly. Oh, no, but it's fair market. No, it was monopoly. But that's what they were doing. And because of that, they got really deep into culture. They got really deep into just the last really 100 years of just people and how they perceive diamonds. And they made a shit ton of money. So again, we're going to talk about some of the bullet points of what they did and how they got to this point. And yeah, let's do a little comparison to our boys at PSA, who are fucking hostaging our fucking graded slabs till like what is it, like March or some shit? Like,
dude,
literally.
Wait until I tell you after all this what I saw on the internet about what's happening right now.
That's a nice
right,
ribbon
perfect.
on top.
We're gonna bury that lead.
yeah, that sounds good. Parking lot that. All right, so I have some bullet points here, so I'm going to skim a little bit. So one of the first things they did, so they, from the late 1800s, okay, through much of the 20th century. This is a long fucking time. It was an Oppenheimer family. Again, not really that important, but the major important thing here is that they partnered with nearly every major diamond mine in Africa. Okay, so they were with the big players. They were directly connected to the supply.
Yeah.
and that's why they controlled 80 to 90% of the global market. Okay. Do we have any relation to to what we're doing now that they're doing?
Oh, all I can think about from what you were telling me with African diamonds, all I can think about is the movie Blood Diamond. So
Yes, perfect. You have a you have a good backdrop. So on top of also doing, being directly connected to the supply, they also created this central selling organization. It's called the
And that's
CSO.
I think that's where we see the clearest similarities.
Yeah, and I'd love for you again once I'm done hitting these main points, I'd love
Yeah.
to hear you guys
Yeah.
bring up similarities. So they created this central selling organization, and essentially what that is that for every diamond that comes from this supply, every diamond that gets handled, funneled from that goes to the manufacturers has to be accounted for and registered and has to flow through this funnel that is the CSO.
And the CSO is
The
registering organization.
the registering organization that they created in conjunction with them already having the supply connection.
Right.
And because of that, simultaneously, they dictate both the supply and the price globally.
is that like GI certified for diamonds?
Is that another like
Good question. I don't know the
jewelry
answer to
thing?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jewelry
that could be
like
like a
GI
stamp.
GI certified thing is like a stamp for the diamond so that like um it's like certing it, so like in case somebody the way they explained it to me is like you want a GI certified diamond because just in case somebody steals it.
I think that's newer.
Yeah, stuff like that, like
Mm,
somebody tries to pawn it off or like whatever, like they know it's yours
Yeah.
and they can
yeah.
backtrack it.
So this was an easy way for them to track the data of the diamonds that were being sent from supply to manufacture. They found a way to plot themselves right in the middle, so that for every diamond that gets registered, that gets sent out from the supply of the mines in Africa, which they already have all the relationships, they can see it go through their system, and then it hits the manufacturers who end up selling it on their own. So because of that, again, they control the supply because they're connected to the mines, and they control the registry that actually accounts for these diamonds. So, I mean, right off the bat, what do you guys relate that to as far as this registry?
Hmm.
Does that sound familiar?
Well, I think keep going. Like you said, we'll make the solid connections at the end.
Okay. Okay. I know this is exciting. There's just so much data.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the first thing, is they controlled most of the supply, right, in the registration of it. The second thing is they manipulated this actual supply. Now that they have it registered and they have the connection, they also manipulated the supply itself, which kept the prices high. You're probably wondering how so. So what they did was, during times of supply going around, they would stockpile diamonds even when they're not being sold. They would collect a lot of the diamonds, stockpile them, and then they would slowly release diamonds into the market.
Those
Now,
fiends,
fiends?
Who, me?
are they cooming?
Yeah,
They've
they were
been cooming for decades,
slowly
centuries.
cooming. They were giving a little pre-cum to the to the community, right? So they were slowly releasing the diamonds. And also on top of that, for anybody who was trying to buy and sell the diamonds outside of their system, their network, the CSO, they would buy up diamonds directly from them and then throw it into the stockpile. Uh
Mm-hmm.
oh. Uh oh. Bridges are connecting.
They're in the
Yep.
coom bank.
Let me let me keep going. No, I didn't really think about these like these ad libs you're dropping. It's gonna throw me off, but I'm gonna keep
I'm
going.
with it.
I'm gonna keep going. On top of that, they created the greatest marketing campaign in history. They did in the 1930s and 40s. The De Beers hired the ad agency N1 Ayer, which was actually connected to. Well, they connected this marketing agency that had a lot of relationships to Hollywood. So now in 1947, which was insane to think about, it's almost like we're going in like 80 to 100 years. They created the slogan, "A diamond is forever." So
Sure did.
for these gems that are not even rare, right? Because it's like they were everywhere. It was like a shit ton of them in Africa. Weren't even rare. They created this slogan that ended up being a global phenomenon, right? It ended up morphing into culture because what they would do is, with the help of this marketing agency, they would go to the actual Hollywood, celebrities, and they would just deck them out in diamonds. So now you have the Marilyn Monroes, you have the models, the actors, the actresses on their wrists, on necklaces, covered in diamonds. So now it's going from, it's this wow thing of, we don't really know what this is. This is kind of cool, to making, slogan of diamond is forever, to targeting movies, magazines. And then they promoted two things, is that the diamonds are actually a symbol of love. So now they're into, like, now the celebrities are doing it. Now it's into the everyday home. And in the process of the movies and the magazines and just like the gossip of what diamonds are at this point, they finally popularized, after repetition, they popularized the idea that for most people from the 1940s to even now, that a typical ring that's supposed to be the symbol of love to your significant other was supposed to be 2 to 3 months salary of the man in the household. They were the ones that created that idea. That was not like out of thin
A
air. They
standard practice
marketed
for
that.
eons. Yeah.
Yeah, eons
Yep.
ago, they marketed it, conditioned people, and now it ended up becoming a normal thing. So, like, like Debbie would compare to her friend. It's like, well, he got her a really big ring, and now it's like it's seeped into the home of the everyday
Mm-hmm.
person.
Yep.
So they marketed the campaign, they control the supply, they control the registry, they control the marketing of it, and it's not rare, right? It's
That's the
these
key.
things.
That is the point of this whole thing.
Yeah,
Is it's diamonds are pretty abundant.
yeah,
Not like
it,
gold.
yeah. It's
Gold is
they're not
tiny. Like
rare.
is a
They're not rare
microscopic.
things. So ultimately, to just tie it up full circle, they mastered the vertical integration of a product. They
Mm-hmm.
control the mining, they control the sorting and the registration, they control the valuing, they control the marketing,
Oh yeah,
and
they're
they control the
control.
selling. So the De Beer company ultimately ended up becoming a global cartel of diamonds because they control all aspects of it, not just one piece. So I say this all to say,
The what? The One Piece? The One Piece is real?
I actually know what they're talking about. Um, world government 6767. So now you have to think about this and say, all right, this is the adaptation of their product, and how they maneuvered it throughout the years, through almost 100 years, um, by just really honestly just cornering the supply of it and scooping up whatever they could and then just controlling it, right? So I say this to say, now that they've done all of that and we've seen that already happen, do you see that integrate into our hobby? Do you see that happening now, and in what ways?
Well, I the nature of PSA is to grade the cards. So
Mm-hmm.
like that being the number one thing, it's like that's like the most like in your face, like, no, this is what we're doing. We are trying to accumulate enough of this stuff to be a reasonable player in the ecosystem, right? So like that
Yep.
that's all like kind of above board.
It's a
Really
big
in the
piece.
last yeah, but the what really is now like becoming, I don't want to say problematic, but you see the rise of these cards going, and you're just like, why is this one going up in price? Why is this one going up in price? And at a very similar time, you saw like PSA partner with GameStop and eBay, and creating the power packs, and
Oh, they slowly
it's
played
the
their
PSA
cards.
Vault with eBay and all that stuff. It's all that kind of came together, and there was a weird correlation between that and the prices of these cards.
Is that a vertical integration hand symbol you just did?
They know what they have. Right?
So they control the actual, they control the price because they give you the grade, which is already crazy to me. Like that person determines if you got a 9 or a 10 and you make thousands of dollars or like a few hundred.
Right. But at early on, though, it wasn't as nefarious because they didn't have those other factors.
Correct.
They
Correct.
were just doing that
it
one.
didn't matter
service.
as much.
Look
They
at
were
the
literally
timeline.
and they were, sorry to cut you off, but it's like it was basically like the CSO, right? It's like they registered it and they they determined price, which was like, all right, that's already a lot of power, but we'll give it to you because you want to be a part of this ecosystem. But to your point, now they're connecting the other pieces of it,
and that's where it's getting like, that's what raises the eyebrows.
Look with the timeline from when this all like was so innocent, when like we first started this channel, before like a year before.
True.
Where it was just like, when was it? Like when was the Logan Paul thing?
That was right around the time, but that was like the very beginning of this celebrity thing.
What I'm just saying is like, like that was like an innocent time where it's just
Yeah.
like,
that was a boom, but it wasn't
all the grading companies were kind of just like, everybody had their own like neat like favorite thing they wanted to do. Yeah, they had their lanes. Like people liked CGC back then. It wasn't like frowned upon to start selling CGC at like a con, but like people had their own grading company they liked, and they would grade their cards for that because they liked it for whatever it was, and it wasn't for a resale or anything. And then the small little thing with the Logan Paul thing with the celebrities get in, he buys the Illustrator card. Everyone starts getting eyes on like PSA more than like other grading companies, because now it looks like the new hot thing to do, get the PSA graded cards.
Marketing campaign with Hollywood.
I don't think they thought at the time that was what they were going to do as a play, but then it started to turn into it, and they kind of just rolled with it. Then like you have like guys like Post Malone like buying stuff, like then they all start buying it. You start seeing it in social media, it starts getting more of a buzz, and they just kept rolling with it while CGC sat on their hands, Beckett sat on their hands, like, and PSA just kept trying to get out to the young folk, get out to the they're just trying to make do. And then like they would do bulk order, like they tried to appease
to everybody.
Yeah, they were trying to get a hand in everybody to get some small chunks of change from everybody. They made those deals where they did like the bulk grading. We even took advantage of the bulk grading.
What a sweet time.
The $10. Membership was just that, like the pricing was better per card graded than CGC in the comparison at the time. And then Beckett was just super stingy and more expensive. So we were just like, why not go PSA at the time? So, that's when they were doing it a justice for us at the time and bringing in more consumers.
Yeah, because they didn't need to price gouge. Like at that point, they were just trying to accumulate market share.
Yeah, so they accumulated the share, and they accumulated the base. And then the more and more that they just got more stockpiled in that case.
Yeah.
Now they have us.
Now they have us by the balls.
Yeah, they had us by the balls right there.
Now that they had us by the balls, that gave them the leverage to make those power plays.
Yes,
with GameStop,
because they ended up making more revenue than the other grading companies. Then it started to become more popularized, and then that became gospel to now.
And that's kind of a question. Do you think they fell into that? Kind of. Do you think they, or did they plan this out? Is it like?
I don't think they planned it. I think it was. I feel like at the time, it almost felt like
It started organic.
yeah, it was just like,
I
and
think it
then like
started
the
a race to the
YouTubers,
top
yeah, then it
against
started like the
CGC and
YouTubers
VGS.
started talking about it, and then like the popularities of the cards started getting there, and as Pokemon just kept creeping more and more and more into the boom bubble that happened this year, they, because you could see like as the months went, like every quarter, like there was something different shady happening with PSA. It's almost like they sat in a meeting room every time they looked at the graph of their earnings, and they were like, what can we do now? Because now we have everybody by the balls. Like, what else can we do? What
I
else
feel like
can
they
we
Oh, and
get
here's
away
another thing
with?
too. Here's another thing too.
Very-
I think one of the on the board of GameStop, I think is like the head of PSA.
Yeah,
What?
and then yeah,
I,
and then
I
Wait,
think
he
that
left?
happened.
they did do that. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
he joined the board of GameStop.
yeah.
The
He
That
head
did.
of
is a
PSA.
major conflict of interest. I didn't know
I
that.
know. So they
I'm
started
I
doing the
think
partner
that
deals and
happened. Yeah,
stuff
let me
like
double check
that.
that.
But like they
Oh
started getting
my
in. But
dude.
they were able to do that because they were doing they were wiggling inches through like I think 2023,
Yeah.
because like remember like
Nat Turner,
the card grading
joined the board
prices
of
were
GameStop.
like what, $10 to $15, and then they were like, oh haha, due to the times we should increase it, and then they increased it to like $18, and then people were like,
Dude, when
that's
the boom
okay.
was happening, they were like charging like $100 or
No,
something
but
to
I'm
like
saying like then like
remember that?
it was no big deal before because they were like, oh, okay, like $18, and they quietly kept increasing it,
Yeah.
and nobody batted an eye, and I'm sure their percentages were still good, and they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna keep fucking with consumers until they protest and boycott this, and they never
And
did.
nobody did.
No,
And
they didn't.
I think ultimately the issue is that also CGC and like Beckett like really was not even trying to be part of the race. I feel like Beckett was just like one of those things that was like, hey, you either go for perfection or you don't. But we don't really care if you grade with us. Like they put no
Dude, this is
things.
like their
They didn't
console
know.
war. This is
They
their
did.
console war.
Yeah, like they almost cared less about it in that sense. But then like CGC like took a moment and they did their best, but then they fucked up their own bag, right? So once they did that, it's like PSA very clearly became the only winner. I think this was like a time thing of who can stay on the ride the longest.
The one and only time that they tried to combat PSA was when they allowed you to bring back your 9.5s
Yeah, and
to
that blew
retag.
and that like that actually lowered. They actually manipulated their own value of their cards and lowered it. So it's like they're like over here like
wrong idea, buddy.
so PSA is looking left and right, and they're like, all right, Becca doesn't really care, even though they're pretty elite. CGC is like my fucking like dumbass cousin trying to like play, but he's not really doing a good job. So I'm just gonna keep going, and like you said, like they took advantage of that and they kept bumping the prices. But I think where they really like the big power play, I think was GameStop because now they have access to physically get into people's interactions of business without being at a straight up vending show. Like I mean that's going to be a crazy day when you see PSA at a Collecticon with a booth like buying and selling cards. Like we're close,
Dude,
but
I
the
didn't even
fact that they're
think it was gonna happen to be this
bro
big when they
bro they're
Well, on
partnered.
the app
When
you
they
could
partnered.
they'll on the app they could buy your cards.
yeah
They have offers.
Yeah, this
so
the app.
they're
morphed into it within the year. Remember when it
yeah
first started? It was just go in, look at the prices of your
yeah it
cards,
was
trade
quick,
it in,
but I
whatever.
And
think
the
but I
app is
think
eerily similar to GameStop's, by the way. Now, just
so that's
saying.
what I'm saying. Like they literally have made it so easy to either physically do it at GameStop because they did the PSA submissions that were actually
And I think there's
cheaper
a
now.
discount at GameStop too.
It's cheaper to do through GameStop, like
Yeah.
versus like a
Mhm.
conventional person versus without the membership, right?
They want
And
you to
then
go.
and then you can digitally do it, so like you can be an easy like you can just be a slob just doing it at home without even moving. And now the issue is that GameStop is selling these power packs that are highly addictive gambling freaking gateway drugs
And
like
they're
these 20
expensive.
they came out with a $2,500 pack, dude. And it's like, so now they're buying back cards that they're grading themselves in PSA's eyes, selling it to GameStop. GameStop doesn't give a fuck. Like, they just want to throw it into their random packs because they make money and they're fucking making money together. That's the crazy, the big power play
Well,
has hit this mountain now where like they're conglomerates, dude. Like, they control too many aspects.
this is how GameStop's staying alive. because they were
Yeah.
dead in the water.
And
And then they
the
have
irony is that
figured
we
out how to
saved them.
revive themselves. Yes.
The irony is that we saved them, and now they're now they're power to the players, but now they're like power to profit. Like
Power to
now
the
that
slab. Power to the slab.
now they're just making money, dude. Like they literally like turned around and fucked
Yes.
us.
So I
They're
guess like
making so much money now.
Both of
I know
them.
correlation doesn't always equal causation, but
Yeah.
I mean, is there a connection? You think? You know,
Between the
between
strategy, the diamond.
the rise of no, but between the rise of prices in the cards and the integration of PSA into like eBay and GameStop. Because
Funny that you mention.
I
You're
think it
saying
was
like
similar
overall
times.
market? You saying is it correlated?
Yeah, like when we saw like some pretty major price hikes in the cards, even
Mm-hmm.
in the sealed, there was a similar moment in time that's when there was the integrations into those.
I do thoroughly believe that there is conspiracy with the boom, with the buyout of a
Let's
lot of
hear it.
these cards and stuff. Like you could even go back to the Bears method
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
stockpiled. So like
Yeah,
who
that's what's
like
happening.
remember we were thinking like who the hell has all this money to just buy out all of these slabs off of eBay at whatever prices with fucking
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm. Or like
Corporations,
even the shit
essentially.
slabs. Like you're hearing, we went with the Collecticon, dude. Like people were talking about how the shit slabs are getting bought out by just these like conglomerates that come in and just like wipe the
Mhm.
tables of the conventions.
But remember, like even like before, like we were going to cons and like checking this out, it was just like everybody was on eBay, like what the hell is happening to these cards? They're just like the prices were just skyrocketing within like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just see the sample size was just like it just didn't make sense, and like people were just riding, and it's just like who is doing that? It's just
Yeah.
not regular people like me and you. I mean, like there's got to be other powers that are buying
Mm-hmm.
like more than like hundreds of these slabs of like a Pikachu Zekrom promo PSA 10. Like no regular schmo is buying out all
And
of
that's
those.
the crazy thing to think about is if you really think about it, the cards that are the ones that you really could control, like we always say, like, oh, like who's doing this, right? Like there's 300 copies of this tag team card. Who's pumping this to $5,000? And it's like, all right, well, like most of us, again, like you said, we won't be able to do that. Like that's too much money. But a place like GameStop or PSA, like they already have so much floating money and they have so many automatic profits, especially on these power packs and just like gambling addicting things. Like they're making money on so many transactions that they're willing to lose money on others
Well, not to
just to,
mention the grading fees.
not
So
to mention
now,
grading fees, which is a constant conglomerate of income, right? So they have funds that they can move around and take losses in other departments if it means long term they can control the price. So they're willing to
Right.
buy out
Spend money
300
to make
Pikachu and
money.
Zekrom
Yeah.
PSA 10s because there's only 300, buy
yeah,
out all of them, throw it into their power packs, and then sell it as a higher ticket item
And then
because
slow drip those as people try to spend
yes.
all that money
exactly.
to
They can
get one.
slow drip it. Like that's literally like I actually
Yeah.
think it's actually easier for them to do, especially when you think about how many cards are actually considered valuable or favorite characters or whatever. It's actually easier to hone in on that versus like the trillions of diamonds that they were trying to buy out in the 1900s, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
feel like that was harder to find every single diamond versus this. Everything's on the registry.
Dude,
Everything's going through every show.
the machine is crazy right now. So like if you want to really break it down, so now they set up all the pieces to make this the perfect machine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now what they did was now they're stockpiled. That now the method right now, what they're doing is stockpiling. They're just accepting all slabs at like cons. Like we just went to that con just a few weeks ago, and we went to that table to trade in some junk slabs, and then we just look to our right, and there's just this huge like processing of slabs that they're just gonna box up and give out back to like these other like companies that are gonna put
The
them out
whales.
in yeah
They're giving it to the
basically
whales.
yeah so now even PSA is doing that stuff, but now PSA they have that program where like if you grade with them, right, there's a feature where you can have them sell your card because they're partnered with eBay. So they just
Mhm.
put it in the PSA vault and sell it for you. Now, that's annoying, right?
Or pay
Because
you right on the spot. They'll also even just pay you without
Yeah.
even doing the
see
sale.
that? So now they are cutting out the middleman and not allowing you to take back your card, but then at the same time, they control your grade.
I know, dude.
So not
That part of
only
it
are they
is
going to not
part of it is
only
unfair.
yeah,
That part of it is unfair.
so now with this idea, not only do they control your grade, if you check off the box that allows them to sell your card, they don't even tell you the grade yet. They make you check off the box at the beginning of the process of the grading when you send in the card.
And the crazy thing is, you could be submitting a card, and based on market, your card can get an upcharge because it's a valuable card
Correct.
at that
Mhm.
time.
So
Yeah.
But if they take long and they stockpile your card, they actually control the price if it dips
so who's to
down.
say
Like, bro, they're literally
that
offering you less later.
so who's to say that hey Javon V, I see you want to give me your Giratina V alt art to grade. Would you like me to sell your card? Uh, and you say no. I'm like, oh no. Well, PSA 9. Fuck you. Could have
Oh,
been
you're
a
saying like
could have been a
you're saying
PSA
later on?
10, but like rather than upcharge you for the card that you gave me in the bulk pile to a PSA 10, you can let me sell your card that's a PSA 9, but I'll just make it a 10 and then sell it to another guy and make that extra cash flow on your
Yeah,
shit
for
card.
sure. I
You
feel
know?
like that's where it's like they could actually, based on your answers to them selling your cards or not, they could change how they perceive and grade your cards later, which is one layer. But they could also crack out their own cards because they know people are already doing it. So they could actually crack out nines that you're not even that you're letting them keep, and they could just literally be like, "It's a 10 now," and just freaking skyrocket that.
Yeah, I think this kind of segues nicely into like this like kind of bow on the tip of this present. The
Still
do
clenching,
you
by the way.
think do you think this is a self-fulfilling prophecy now where PSA is actually just like kind of holding up the guardrails, or do you think they're still in it now? Because I think there's an argument to be made, and I think I would sit on this side where they did all the heavy lifting now. They have assembled the market, and now the market's just going to go. Do you think they still kind of got their fingers in the pie, as one might say, or do you think they're more hands off now because they've already quote unquote done the deed?
You think they, in the sense that they've already created so much of the structure? Do you think they're
They've
gonna? You're
created
saying
ecosystem
are they
now.
are they gonna dial back now, or are you saying are they gonna lean in more?
Well, yeah, they're basically the overlords of their realm now, so they're
Yeah,
just holding up the guardrails.
Well, they have GameStop
John,
as foot
Johnny,
soldiers now, so it's like you have your serfs doing the
yeah.
work now.
I feel like they have such a big ecosystem. To your point, they've definitely set up the guardrails. Like, I actually feel like it's very hard to enter into this conglomerate now. Like, I think they
enter
very
or
much,
exit,
huh?
enter or exit.
Yeah. Like, if you go into the space, like, you're bumping in the PSA now because
Yeah, unless you're
they,
doing a one-to-one,
it's
cash
basically
deal.
PSA, eBay, GameStop all on the same team now. Where
Yep.
even eBay, you would think eBay would say, "Huh, this is a conflict of interest. We're not going to sell your cards PSA or give you a PSA branded name," but they're very much allowing it. So the fact that eBay doesn't care and they're making their money, the fact that PSA clearly doesn't care and they're willing to step on everyone's toes to do it, and the fact that GameStop was basically like a few years ago was going to crumble as a business, and now they can latch on the PSA and ride the coattail of success. They already have the Avengers. They've already assembled the whole thing. They very much could just ride it out. I don't see how much deeper they can lean into this. Like, they've already set it up so they can just ride the ride.
Right. So, like
But I guess time will tell. Like, the guardrails are in their favor, and everybody else is just a spectator now. So I hope they don't overly lean in. I think
self-perpetuating is the word.
yeah, I hope they don't overly do it because it's like
I don't think they need to if
Yeah.
if their profit is when they go to quarterly meetings and they talk about their percentages, I mean, like it's just gonna keep going this way. So like, why change what's already working at like like what it looks like at maximum like
Efficiency.
efficiency?
Yeah. They set it up well. I mean, what do you think, Kumba? Like, what's your answer to your own question?
Well, yeah, I think like I want to think that they've done the deed already, so they're just kind of coasting along.
And there's
But
no
I could
competition.
see right, so I could see if there is any turbulence at this point, they might kind of put their thumb on the scale or something. But I think at this point they're like, oh yeah, we checkmated a long time ago now, so
Yeah.
we're just kind of coasting here, buddy. So
Yeah.
so that all being said, to kind of wrap up this discussion,
Full circle.
yeah, I think there is definitely, again, just to cover our asses, correlation doesn't equal causation, but there is very eerily weird similarities between the way PSA is doing business and De Beers Diamond Company did their monopoly. And it is very interesting that the cards spiked as soon as PSA started making interesting plays in with eBay and GameStop. That's what I would say. What are your guys' kind of final thoughts?
Duncan, you want to go, and then I'll end off.
They done did it.
Okay.
And nobody
Well,
can
you
tell
can
me
sue him
no
then.
nobody can tell me otherwise. They did it.
They done did it.
They
to
done
quote,
did it.
quote unquote.
Yeah,
We're just a bunch of
they played
idiots.
all
That
their
was-
they played all their cards correctly, and they owned
played
us.
their cards.
They owned all
Honestly,
trading companies. Like, what's Tag gonna do? Try to tag team with fucking Best Buy? Like, no, nothing's happening.
yeah.
CGC with Walmart. Like, what are we doing? Like, they're just like, you ain't getting shit.
Lowe's, Lowe's showed up. Lowe's entered chat.
Oh yeah.
Lowe's and Ace Hardware coming at you.
Maybe we'll get all the blue collar people.
Everybody wants to get a piece of the pie, and like, here we go.
Blue collar grading, Home Depot and Lowe's.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Come to Lowe's to crack your slab.
Burn.
Here we go.
All right. So I guess to end off, I will compare it to the vertical integration bullet points to see how many of these check off. Mining. Do they control the supply?
I was gonna say that's the one key thing. They don't really control Pokemon. Pokemon actively actually wants to.
But they
Uh-huh.
control the most commonly graded. They control the value spike of the cards. They are technically mining plastic onto cards, creating a value.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
in a very, very close similarity is them creating a product that's theirs.
Oh, they do.
Right.
They do come out with the monthly report on the most graded cards.
And they are mining. So it's not technically mining because it's not a product, right? But they are attaching their brand on something that is it's coming from their facilities. So they're mining, they're sorting. PSA pop reports. They're definitely keeping track.
Pops,
valuing, they determine the price between 9s and 10s. They determine when they want to sell it off to people, when they want to actually slowly sell off or just keep on to it for themselves. Marketing, they don't even need to market because everybody markets for them because they don't respect other grading companies. And PSA gets a lot more publicity in that way, indirectly. And then selling. That's the last fucking thing. They're selling, dude. They're selling through GameStop. They're selling through eBay. They're selling directly through their website. So are they vertically integrated enough to be similar to the De Beers and the Bears or whatever and their diamond diamond conglomerate or cartel? I think we can say yes, boys.
Yes.
I think we can say yes.
And on that bombshell.